You ever wonder how this happens? You've got two dental practices, maybe even in the same town. Both have great, skilled dentists, but one is just struggling to get patients in the door, while the other is booked solid. It's a real puzzle. So let's dive into this, because the answer really gets to the core of what it takes to build a practice that doesn't just survive, but truly thrive. Okay, just look at this comparison. It tells the whole story. On one side, you've got Practice A. They're pouring $8,000 a month into paid ads. What do they get for it? About 15, maybe 20 new patients. That works out to a cost of $400, even $600 per patient. Now, look at Practice B. They're spending less than half of that, but they're focused on SEO. And they're bringing in more than double the patients. Their cost per patient? It's under $100. I mean, the difference is just staggering.
So that's the big question, right? What is Practice B's secret? What are they doing that makes every single dollar they spend on marketing work so much harder and so much more effectively? That's what we're going to unpack.
To really get what Practice B is doing right, you first have to understand the trap that Practice A is stuck in. We call it the lead generation trap. And if you've ever felt like you're just endlessly spending money on marketing month after month just to stay afloat, well, you know what this feels like. It's like being on a treadmill you can never ever get off.
This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. See, when your whole strategy is based on paid ads, you're just renting attention. The second you turn off that spending faucet, the phone goes silent. Poof, the leads are gone. You're not actually building anything that lasts. You're just paying for today, which means you have to start all over again from zero next month.
And this is what that cycle of failure looks like in the real world. You see dentists try a little bit of everything. That's the spray and pray method. But nothing gets enough resources to actually gain traction. They expect these instant results, kind of like they get in the clinic. And when it doesn't happen, they quit too soon. Or they get completely distracted by things that don't matter, these vanity metrics like Facebook likes, instead of the one thing that actually pays the bills, getting new patients into the chair. And honestly, the math behind this trap is just brutal. Just look at the average cost to get one single patient through these different paid channels. We're talking hundreds, sometimes even over $1,000. But now, look at the bottom line, SEO. Not only does it start out way cheaper, but, and this is the key, that cost actually goes down over time. So while Practice A is forever stuck paying these high fixed costs, Practice B's investment is actually getting more and more efficient every single month.
So how do you break free? How do you get off that treadmill? It all comes down to a fundamental shift in your thinking. You have to stop chasing and buying leads. Instead, you need to build what's called a patient acquisition system. A well-oiled machine that works for you around the clock to attract the right kind of patients to your practice.
So what is this system really? Well, it's not just one marketing tactic. It's a whole set of processes that are all coordinated, all working together. The goal isn't just to be one of the options a patient considers. The goal is to become the obvious choice in your area by systematically making your practice more visible and more trustworthy than anyone else.
And this system is powered by 4 core engines. First up, you have the visibility engine, and this is all about making sure patients can find you when they're actually looking. SEO is the powerhouse here. Then, once they find you, the trust engine kicks in. This is what convinces them you're the best choice. Think great reviews, a professional website. Next, the conversion engine makes it incredibly simple for them to actually book an appointment. No friction. And finally, the retention engine is what keeps them coming back and turns them into people who rave about you to their friends. Now, all 4 are critical, but today we're really focusing on that foundation, the visibility engine.
All right, so let's get into the why. Why is a system driven by SEO so much more powerful than just throwing money at ads? It really comes down to understanding how people actually search for a dentist today. It's about being there at that exact moment of need.
And that moment, it almost always happens on Google. Get this, over 70% of patients start looking for a new dentist right there. They're typing in phrases like dentist near me or emergency root canal. If you don't show up in those organic search results, you're basically invisible to the huge majority of people who are looking for exactly what you do.
But it's not just about being found. It's about the quality of that person finding you. This is so important. A paid ad on social media is an interruption. Think about it. Someone scrolling through pictures of their friend's vacation and your ad pops up. They weren't looking for a dentist, but a lead from a Google search, that is pure, raw intent. That person has a problem right now, and they are actively trying to solve it. Their motivation is on a completely different level.
This changes the whole financial picture too. Paid ads are just an expense. It's like renting a billboard on a highway. The second you stop paying the rent, your ad is gone. But your ranking on Google, that's an asset. It's digital real estate that you own.
every bit of work you put into it adds to its value, and it pays you back for years to come as that cost per patient keeps dropping.
And of course, the results just speak for themselves. Because these searchers have higher intent, and because there's more inherent trust in organic results, they convert into actual patients at a much higher rate. We're talking 2 to 3 times higher than leads from paid ads. So you're not just getting more website visitors, you're getting more people who actually book an appointment and show up.
So, the big question is, how do you actually build this asset? Well, it takes a totally different mindset. This isn't some quick fix or a magic button. It's a strategic, long-term investment in the future value and health of your practice. Let's take a look at what that journey really looks like. Look, this doesn't happen overnight, and anyone who tells you otherwise isn't being honest. The first few months are all about building a solid foundation. Then, around months 4 to 6, you really start to see some traction. By the end of that first year, you should be in a solid growth phase. And then, in year 2 and beyond, that's when you hit the dominance phase. That's when you become one of the top, most visible choices in your market, and the whole system really starts to snowball.
So really, it all comes down to this one crucial shift in how you think. You have to stop looking at marketing as just another expense on your profit and loss statement that you need to minimize. You have to start seeing it as the single most important investment you can make in building a valuable, durable asset that will feed your practice for years and years.
And that brings us right back to where we started, with our 2 practices. Practice A is stuck renting their growth, paying more for less every single month on that treadmill. Practice B is busy building an asset. So the final question I want to leave you with is a pretty simple one. Which path is your practice on? Are you renting your new patients, or are you building an asset that will own your market for years to come?